Alright guys, I am your Ice Dragon, Rayron VR. Got another manga spotlight. We are back. We've got Sailor Moon Volume 6. Now, something that actually quite surprised me, and I actually haven't noticed this up until this video, and I just realized that Sailor Moon doesn't have a tiny excerpt on the back like most other manga do. It's taken me up to Volume 6 to realize that, oh, there's actually no um, little paragraph about what's going on in the volume, which, to be honest, I actually prefer that. But with that, we've got Kodansha Comics, ages 13 plus, and 10.99 USA time. So with that, let's go ahead and talk about my favorite story of all time, Sailor Moon. If you guys haven't known, I am a huge Sailor Moon fan, and if you guys don't know, on my Endless Collectibles channel, I have a lot of merch from Sailor Moon. It's one of my favorite franchises of all time. So with that being said, let's go ahead and talk about Sailor Moon 6. So this particular arc I do like, and the reason being is because it's very straightforward, very linear, which I do enjoy when it comes to superhero. You've got a main villain, you've got the kind of sub bosses, and then you've got the small little antagonists that go on within this little monsters that our heroes have to defeat. And then there's a little bit of civil war going on when it comes to our particular heroes here, which we'll talk about here in a second. So overall, I do enjoy this particular volume 6. Again, it's very straightforward. There are a few little things I don't like about it, but we'll get into it here in the spoiler section. So with that, if you don't want to get spoiled, feel free to watch this video at a later time. Let's go ahead and dive right into it. So we go into it, and of course, Rini is still there in the world, which again, I have a problem with because of the concept of time, but I shove that problem aside because, it's not going to get resolved in the way that that it makes sense. So it is what it is. Rini's here to stay. But we start to see the rise of a new big bad boss. That is Mr. Pharaoh 90. Don't know too much about it. We just know that this particular female villain has been talking to it. And sorry about the camera here. There we go. Let's see here. So we've got this dreams of destruction that our main villain has been seeing, and also with Ray and premonitions. And this is kind of what I call the premonition arc, that there's going to be something devastating that's going to be happening in the future, but we don't know how we're going to get there. And yeah, it is a common trope to see in storytelling that you got this big major event that's coming up, but we don't know how it's going to get there. And I like that type of stuff. I am a sucker for, ooh, what's going to happen? Keep me engaged. And then as we go through, we get our introductions to two new Sailor Scouts. We've got Sailor Neptune and Sailor Uranus. They're on this mission to figure out what exactly is going on. They've been following this, I think it's called a Mugen district, if I remember correctly. And we got this Mugen Academy that they've been kind of having their eyes on because they're trying to figure out exactly what is going on. And they're definitely, I don't want to say bullies in a way, but they have a mission and they're dedicated to that mission, and they don't even want the other scouts to get involved. And so we kind of have this clash of a between the outer planets, Neptune, Uranus, and the inner planets. And again, it takes some time to figure out that they've got these two um, that are trying to go after what's going on. However, in their civilian form, I'm trying to remember. You've got, let's see here, Hikaru and Michiru. I'm definitely mispronouncing it. I do apologize. But yeah, that's their civilian names. And you can see the relationship between Serena and them. And what's kind of interesting about this is that they eventually find out that Hikaru and Michiru, they are Sailor Uranus, Sailor Neptune. It takes them a while. We see basically a montage of them trying to figure out who they are, and it just takes a while for them to get there. But as we kind of progress through the story here, we've got Komite, which is the next kind of sub boss, and we've got the Witches 5, which is the minions that our scouts are going to have to go after. So basically, more henchmen to go through. Again, I'm a sucker for that type of stuff. Rini then finds a friend by the name of Hutaru. Now, it's definitely going to be, again, there is kind of the girl is the key to everything type of moment with Hataru, but I think it's well written, and this is kind of a shining example of that type of storytelling done right. But we'll get more into that a little bit later. So as we go on, we start to see that the mission is something about the talisman. That the talisman, when they're together, can equal destruction. We see more premonitions and start to expand into other scouts. It gets to the point where Serena and Darian are getting involved in this particular dream. Then all the Sailor Scouts start to dream of the potential destruction of the future. But as we go through the volume, our scouts battle 2 or 3 of the Witches 5. Again, your stereotypical battles, and they're able to defeat them. By the time, and we start to see kind of another Easter egg in this particular volume that'll be important later on, but we start to see something that's called the Holy Grail. And so I know what it is, unfortunately. Not in this volume. That'll come up in volume, I think, 7 or 8. But we start to see an introduction to this Holy Grail type of item, which again, Rini remembers it from the future. So again, it gets introduced in the past. Again, you have some more timeline issues, which is, it's whatever. But by the time they fight the third witch, it was pretty clear who Neptune and Uranus is. And, Serena wants them to ally to go against the big boss to figure out what's going on, what this destruction premonition is all about. And Uranus and Neptune just go on their way. They are eager not to join them. That they are convinced they're not the enemies, but they don't need their help. Which again, it's very arrogant of them, thinking that they're more powerful than the other scouts. Which, there'll be more to come when it comes to that. So, but with that, we kind of leave with a kind of cliffhanger. We're introduced to Setsuna. And Setsuna is basically Sailor Pluto returning. And we leave on that cliffhanger. So, am I excited that Pluto's back? No, because the more I think about it, you get stuck into this kind of time weapon that, Pluto can freeze time, but then at the sacrifice of her, but then, the Crystal Tokyo can, the Silver Crystal can then reborn or reheal Pluto. So you get stuck into this very overpowered situation, and it doesn't get addressed at all. So again, kind of a more in volume 7, but volume 6 definitely sets things up with the scouts and with the outer scouts. So but with that, overall, I love this volume. It is really good. It's a very straightforward story arc, and yeah, I do like it all around. So with it, guys, if you enjoy it, please let me know. Any manga suggestions, leave a comment down below. Like, comment, subscribe, support my work. Feel free to look at the links down below. And thank you guys so much for watching. And wing hugs to all, and to all a good night.